Tonight, I want to just mention a few things. The last couple times we've met, I've kind of joked that this is like gym. It's like when you go to the gym, like the one time a week, you're trying to get that workout in. I know for a lot of people, life is busy. And maybe some of you have been in the heavens a bunch this week. You've been practicing in the Spirit every day. And others are like, wait, it's Thursday already? Like you got the notification and you were like, oh no, the last time I did this was last Thursday. And I know that that happens too. So it's kind of like we're in gym class together. You know, I'm going to be your personal trainer tonight, for better or for worse. And we're going to encourage each other in this. So I'm just going to give you a few encouragements as I do. Nothing too heavy. I just want to tell you the things that are on my mind. One of them is, y'all know the verse in John, the Gospel of John, chapter 17, where it's Jesus's prayer. You remember the beautiful prayer that he prays at the end of the Gospel of John. He gets to that moment. A lot of you are familiar with it. And he says, Lord, I pray that they're one as you and I are one. You know, and then there may be a few other words there, but that's the gist of it. I pray that they're one as you and I are one. And then he says, and that, you know, like they would like be in you like I am in you so that the world will know. But there's an and there. But that first statement, I pray that they're one as you and I are one. And then the and comes in and it's more like, and I pray that they're kind of like in us kind of thing. But that first part, I pray that they're one as you and I are one. Do you know, every time that I ever heard that verse being talked about, it was kind of always in the context of Christian unity. And I'm willing to bet that's mostly how you've heard it too. It's in the context of, oh, that they would all be one. And of course, I'm not going to argue that. I think that's a really great way to see this. But maybe there's something else to it, right? Maybe that's not the only way to perceive that verse. One of the things that you'll notice that I've been really intent on when we meet together like this is that I'm trying to help you be as conscious in that heavenly realm as you can possibly be. So I'm trying to help you sort of develop your internal senses, your processes, so that when you're up there, you really let yourself be up there. And so I have you smell and touch and taste and breathe in the air and imagine the air coming into your lungs. I'm trying to give you, the space to relax and stop and to not be rushed, but to feel it and be present, because you were designed to have senses that do give you information about your environment. So to really be in a place and to be there is to sense it, to have the sensory input get stronger and stronger and stronger. Of course, the more you do this sort of thing, the stronger those senses get, until one day you're up there and, I mean, sometimes it'll scare you, because it's so sensory input that, it does throw you for a loop for a minute. And I think I probably shared with you all, like the one time in my life, and I've, that I backed off, and I've never gone back to this place, so to speak, because it did throw me. I mean, like I remember just, again, like maybe, I don't know, a couple years into this, feeling like I was laying in the grass in the garden, and all I did was I could feel myself lifting my head up, like I'm laying on my back in the grass. And I felt myself lift my head up off the grass. And it was one of those moments where, again, I'd been practicing my senses well. I felt the grass on the back of my head and neck, and I felt the weight of my cabeza, my head, as I lifted it up off the grass. Like I could feel that. I could feel the way that it would feel if I was doing that here. And I heard the Father's voice go, now we can see you. And I went, oh, and I left. I was like, I'm out. Because in that moment, I felt like if I keep waking up in this place, I'm going to fall asleep in the mortal place. And I wasn't ready to go. Like I wasn't ready to make the transition. I was like, I'm a dad of relatively young kids. I feel like I have more stuff to do. And so I had that sudden feeling, though, of like I was waking up, like I had been asleep on the grass, and my eyes opened up and I woke up, like about to sit up in this grass in this garden. And the Father goes, now we can see you. And again, I was done. It's never happened to me again. I'm not even desiring of it. Because it was such the barrier was just so thin. And I just thought, for another time, Lord, for another time. And that's okay. I mean, I don't want anybody to think like, Christopher, you chickened out. You could have gone. No, like to go was to go. Like I had more to do. Like it wasn't time. It wasn't time to do that. But maybe it was just a little feeling of what it might feel like, to wake up. Anyway, my point tonight, out of that John 17 word, I pray that they're one as you and I are one. Now, I've been contending for a while that when you're up in the heavens, you're experiencing, or at least it's possible to experience that environment as you are as a resurrected human being, not you as a mortal, you as a new creation. And I wonder if the oneness that he's talking about, because it's very individual there, I pray that they're one, like you and I are one. Think heaven and earth, both versions of God here, but they're one. And I almost feel like he was saying, like, I pray that they're going to be one, like their immortal and mortal selves are going to become this one new resurrection creature, the son or daughter of the resurrection. Like they would be one, Father, like you and I are one. Like they would be a whole, complete person, not this kind of like, shadow of themselves living a mortal life, not this immortal thing that maybe they were before or however that works. But this coming together, this bringing the two, like the Jew and the Gentile together to make them one new man, one new kind of human. So I don't doubt that the verse is about Christian unity, but I also kind of don't doubt that it's about sort of the rejoining of our parts together, the rejoining of the immortal and the mortal to make this new kind of creature of which Christ was the firstborn. And if that's the case, if there's any truth to that at all, then it's kind of the utmost importance to be in the heavens and to sense it, to be in the heavens and to take the time to let yourselves kind of exist and be there and take in the environment and let your steps actually feel like your steps. I think it was in our House Should We Live class that we did last year. I even talked about in your heaven visits, not rushing, even though you can like go from standing by the waterfall to standing by the pavilion in the blink of an eye, because you can like do it at the speed of thought, but to let yourself walk from one place to the other and feel each step, to force yourself to bring in reality into this environment. That's kind of what I'm talking about here. But it makes it at least something to be aware of, that when we're breathing, when we're touching, when we're smelling, when we're hearing and listening to the environment, it's like we're bringing those worlds together. Maybe we're taking steps towards that oneness, just like he and the Father were one. Now, Judy said, you make me feel like heaven is on earth or only a step away. Well, I think that's true, Judy. I think that's definitely the case. Now, when we go to these places, especially on Thursday nights when we're not doing a class and we're just doing heaven communities and calls and that sort of thing, I know that not everybody's like the adventure explorer. I'm at home doing that, right? I am at home getting on my ship in the heavens and finding new places or revisiting the ones that I've already been to. That works for me because I'm living out my immortal life when I do that. That is like my job as a resurrected son, is like I'm living up to my Christopher namesake. I'm the ferryman. I'm the one that takes you across. You get on my ship, I take you someplace, It's the joy of the journey for me. And I love that role. It fits me perfectly. I know there was that verse in the Psalms about better to be a doorkeeper in the house of my God than to dwell in the tents of the wicked. And then, of course, there was that worship song that we all sung ad nauseum in the late 90s, early 2000s. The better is one day in your courts than thousands elsewhere. I see you laughing, Ellen. You can't laugh that much at it. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good rendition of that song. The point there is that I know, we imagine what do we really want our immortal life to be like? And it's like, well, I would like to be before the throne room or an ambassador for the kingdom. And Christopher's like, I'll drive the bus. That I'm good. Like, give me the keys to the bus, Jesus. I will drive the heaven bus and tour people around and take them across into their immortal homes. Now, again, I know that Not everybody's an adventurer. Like my wife loves her home in heaven and very rarely branches out from it. So this isn't like a case of like do what I do. It's just a case of, one of the things we can do when we're here is I can show you some places for a couple different reasons. Number one, like the place I'm going to show you today, it might be one of your homes in heaven. I don't know who lives in this place. I really don't. Oftentimes I take you to places that are either my home or in the lands surrounding my home, and I don't tell you, but it's true. I mean, it's what I'm normally doing. I'm taking you to places that I find that are near my home in the heavens. But I'm not doing that tonight. I mean, like we're going to go someplace, and to me, it's like, I don't know where this belongs or who it belongs to. The advantage of this for you is kind of twofold. Sometimes I think it's supposed to give you ideas. I think you're supposed to see how beautiful and amazing things are in that place of resurrection life. It's supposed to make you buy into that Ephesians 3:20 hardcore, that God can outdo all of your wildest imaginations. God can do better than what you can ask or think. I remember someone asked me again at a conference somewhere, someone was just trying to reckon with how good it feels, how good it seems when you're in the heavenly places with the Lord. And it was kind of like, like, is it really that amazing? And my response was, there's no one on this earth in their mortal sojourn. And that's up to and including like a Bill Gates or a Jeff Bezos, who are able to finance rocket ships so that they can take a flight into space because they're bored and they've run out of things to do here. So whoever it is, you can give me the biggest billionaire that's capable of doing whatever they want, and we could show them the resurrection and the life and the resurrection, and not one of them is going to be like, well, this is good, but like I had like 7 mansions and a 250-foot yacht and a spaceship, when I was in my mortal life. There's no one that's going to enter into eternity like that and have that feeling, no matter what they have experienced in this mortal plane. And I know that that's more work for us here in America to wrap our minds around that. Like if I was saying this to a group of like Iranian persecuted Christians, they're going to be like, yeah, totally. Like we get it. We totally get it. All right. None of us are going to be like, this is great. But you remember when we were running for our lives in Iran? Like that's not a thing that you'd think. But in America, where honestly, mortal life isn't that bad. And sometimes it's actually kind of good. And sometimes we're sort of lulled into this feeling of thinking, well, maybe we could make this work if we just made a few little tweaks here and there. Maybe if I just took away taxes and carbohydrates didn't affect me like they do, and I never got sick and no one else ever got sick, I'm good. Let's keep everything else. I like going to Target. I think P.F. Chang's is pretty cool, and I like the movie theater. Like if that's kind of like the mindset, we need a bit of a reawakening here. It's better than anything it's better than any ride you can ride in the mortal realm. So when we go to places, and I'm just doing my kind of like heavenly bus driver tour guide job, I'm wanting to expand your imagination. I'm wanting you to see, so that even if, let's say you've seen your home in heaven, you've seen that place that Jesus has already shown you, this is your inheritance, this is the place I have for you. Sometimes when you see something different, it expands even what you can see of your own home, because the limiting factor here isn't what God's made. It's our imaginative ability to see it. It's the strength of the eyes of our heart to actually see it. So if I take you to a place that looks totally, let's say, otherworldly, but then you sort of factor that in and expands what you think, or you see something, you're like, wow, that really fits me. It's probably a part of what God's prepared for you, but the imagination was never expanded to see it. And for some of you, it's really the case of you've not seen your home in heaven yet. Well, I'm going to do my best job to show you different places. Maybe you stumble on to something that is yours. Now, this isn't like an auction. It's not like we're going to go to where I'm going to take you tonight and someone's like, okay, I'll take that. And another person's like, no, it's mine. I bid this. That's not how this works. Okay. So for whatever we're going to see, just kind of, have your own adventure with the Lord here. Don't worry about things like that. Judy, you said Eastern Europeans pray for us because we have it so easy and don't have to have a strong faith, right? I tell you, there are a lot of folks in that zone of the world where, again, like the things we struggle with here aren't the things that they struggle with, and sometimes it's good to put yourself in their shoes to help you value things in the right way. Yeah, Jill, you said it's wonderful to be in the heavens, but isn't it interesting that it's still a discipline to keep going? Again, a very Western world kind of problem that we have. I'm not mad at that, though. There's persecution no matter where you live. First book I ever wrote that isn't published because I refused to let it out because it's so bad. But the first book I ever wrote was actually more of a pamphlet. It was, I don't know, maybe 10,000 words, maybe less. And it was called Invisible Persecution. And I wrote that little pamphlet essentially to say that, there may be a persecuted part of the world where the persecution is physical and it's in your face. Like there's armed men coming to the local church to drag out all the Christians. But then there's an invisible persecution that the rest of the world deals with. And it's not physical, but it absolutely is spiritual. And in this case, it's not armed bandits trying to like burn a church down. It's a fallen angel. It's a principality and power that are there at the doors of every meeting and every gathering, beating down the doors, trying to drag all the Christians out and burn it down just in a different way. And I sort of labeled those two fallen spirits, complacency and apathy, that was our invisible persecution. We take a beating in America. We take a beating in the Western world, but it's not a physical one. It's a spiritual one. And we're being hounded by these fallen, they were virtues. I'm sure they were virtues like, what's the opposite of apathy? Passion, maybe? Apathy is like a lack of engagement or care. So I don't know. Anyway, they were that. They fell and became complacency and apathy. Complacency is, by definition, just kind of going along with your life and not realizing that just around the corner, things are going to change and change drastically. That's complacency. Just be like, we're fine, we're good, like we win the award in America. Like we have really traded in the commodity of complacency. I was telling Melissa the other day, I was like, I know everybody's already forgotten about 2 years ago, spring 2020, when you couldn't get toilet paper. I know everyone's already forgotten about it. Like everyone's already forgotten empty grocery stores. Everyone's already moved on. And in our classic American minds, we've already moved into the place of, it'll probably never happen again. Yes, it will. It's hanging on by such a thin thread. It's just, but I know we were already there. Once we get through a crisis, we go extra complacency in this country. It's like we have total denial that anything happened, That's Sarah, shopping for toilet paper by the Spirit. Yeah. Anyway, the point is, I don't know what that point was. I think we were just talking about how, the discipline, back to the discipline comment, right? That it is a discipline because we're fighting our own battle here. It's not it's not physical persecution, but it's there all the same. But we don't beat it by like, hiding like an underground church. We beat it through things like disciplining ourselves, like doing it even though we don't feel like it, doing it even though the world sort of causes us to be too busy to even think of it. We got to get going into the heavens, guys. It's 8:27. Is that everything I wanted to tell you? Like I said, it's been a really long day of writing. Let me see. I think that was it in a nutshell. So when we're going to explore tonight, again, I'm doing it for two things for you. Expand your imagination so that you know what's possible. Number two, it might be one of yours. This might be your home. I'm telling you, it was totally unexpected that I ended up here. This is not where I intended to go. I think I've seen it one other time in my journeys over the last 12 years. And I'm pretty sure during one class, I might have taken a group here. I'm pretty sure, but I can't remember. So we're going to go and do it. Okay, you ready? You know what to do. Journal, check. Separate window on your computer with ambient music, check. What did I tell you last time? I turned you on to Jeremy Soule, the guy that wrote the music, or I guess composed the music for the video game Skyrim. But you can search his name and the phrase Kind's Peace. If you didn't listen to Kind's Peace last time, it's a good one. Something like that. Hold on, send it to you. Kind's Peace. Jeremy, this is a guess. It's spelled like soul, but with an E or something like that. Anyway, that's a good one to pull up on YouTube. Some of you just like nature sounds. Some of you just pull up like waterfalls and birds or something like that. Although no waterfalls where we're going tonight. If you see waterfalls tonight, you're wrong. I'm just kidding. I'm not that strict about this stuff, but there's no waterfalls where we're going. So maybe don't think that. But anyway, get your ambient music on. Separate window in your browser there. Pull that up. Get the volume right so you can still hear my voice when I chime in. And I got your journal, got your chat box ready, and I think we should be set to go. Okay, I'm going to describe the place to you. This is going to be an out of this world description, but we're going to visit, for lack of any other better term, we're going to visit a floating island tonight. Now, I want you to imagine beautiful blue skies, big white puffy clouds. No, I don't know how the island floats or why. I just know it does. It's otherworldly again. This is why no matter what you've done in mortal sojourn, it just doesn't compare here. So beautiful rolling green hills on this island. It's not big, but down the middle of this island, almost like down the very spine of the island, is this kind of gray rocky mountain range that kind of comes to a point close to the middle. Kind of green rolling hills around it. I don't know how big, but it cannot be more than like a couple miles this way and a couple miles that way at the most. If you were like coming up, like flying up towards it, it does look like it was like plucked out of the ground. So underneath it, it's like it's not just flat. Underneath it, it almost is like a cone shape of rock. Like this is the ice cream on top of the ice cream cone, and it just sort of hovers in the air. And again, this spine of rocky mountains that kind of go right down the middle, rolling green landscape with trees and things like that. There's one, and I won't describe it to you in detail, but one beautiful white palace that's backed itself up to that central mountain and that central mountain peak. And it's all rolling green until you get to that palace, like a little pathway that leads to it. And it's like that palatial castle-like structure. And to me, it's white, but it's like it's just kind of like its back is right there on the rock of the mountain, like it was just sort of built out of it almost. And in front of the sort of entrance to that beautiful palace is like a little courtyard with, the kind of like stone pathways all around, and one very beautiful fountain in the middle of this circular courtyard before you get to the doors of that palace. And again, all the rest, the green hills come out, and it gets kind of flatter and flatter towards the edge of the island. And then outside of that island, sort of floating in the sky, it is the blue sky and the clouds. Now, what I want you to do, as always, is locate yourself. Where are you in this picture right now? Judy, you said, I've been going to a white palace on top of a cliff. Yeah. Who knows? Could be similar here, Judy. Locate yourself and tell me where you are. Where did you first imagine yourself in this picture? For me, I'm standing right by that fountain. I've not gone in this place. I have no idea what it looks like on the inside. Yeah, a lot of you around the fountain with me. Someone else is at the door of the palace there. Yep. Catherine, you're in the courtyard by the fountain, taking in the wide view. Yep. Okay, Karen. Oh, hold on. Karen, The comments are flying right by me here. You said, you imagined yourself at the edge of the floating island looking at limitless space. Diane, you said, I'm standing on a bridge that leads to the castle, taking in the scene. Yeah, Noah, you're not getting anything yet. Again, Noah, first impressions here, my friend. Trust your first impression. I could even say it this way. Where do you want to be in the picture? Because your imagination already knows. So really trust that first guess there. Yeah, Karen, you're at the door. Jill exploring the edges. I know some of you are edgy. Some of you are edgy people. You're going to go and see as close as you can get to the edge of this place. Jessica, you're by the palace. Janine, you're on the beach staring out at the sky. Do you know I saw a beach there too? It was like it got sandy near the edge, but it's not water lapping onto the shore, so to speak, because it's not a shore. But yeah, I saw that. Sarah, you're standing on this island looking out toward the ocean. Yep, your feet are in the water. Okay, water for you, Sarah. Feel free, go for it. To me, it's in the sky, but I'm not going to stop you. You need to be where you need to be tonight. Elizabeth, in a palatial garden near the fountain. Durette looking at the palace from the fountain, laying in the soft green grass. That was you, Ellen. That's a good place to be. Don't wake up too much. You might not come back. Hang in there. Exploring a garden, picking flowers. Yeah. Janine, yep, just the edge of the sky there. Yep. Wonderful. Good. Y'all are doing great. Okay, you know what to do once you found yourself. Let's get through our senses here. Now, you've done this with me a lot. I'm not going to walk you through it in an elementary way. You just know to breathe, and you know to smell, and you know to listen, and you know to touch. And remember what I'm kind of going after here. This is we're not reinterpreting, we're just kind of expanding our view of John 17. Lord, I pray that they're one as you and I are one. I want you tonight to think about being one with your resurrection life. Not mortal you, not the one that's the product of your mom and dad's DNA, the you that's born again. According to the prologue to the Gospel of John, not born of husband's will or human blood, but born of God. This is the resurrection you. Talk to yourself right now. Tell yourself what you're sensing. And we're not in a rush. We're going to be defiant tonight by not being in a rush. Write it down in your journal, what you're sensing. Say it to yourself out loud. Put it in this chat box. Breathe, smell, listen, touch, watch. And let yourself just practice that thought process here. Lord, you wanted us to be one, like you and the Father are one. He was on earth, Father was in heaven. They want to be one, they were one. We're asking to be that same kind of one. We're bringing the heaven and the earth into this place of overlap. Janine, you said, if I pushed off, I could fly in that sky. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Angelica, or Don, you said so excited is moving. Yeah. David, you're on the steps leading to the main door. Janine and Kelly, you can see vineyards. Nice touch. Oh, Kelly. Here's the crazy part. When I cheated earlier today, this is the crazy part, Kelly. When I cheated earlier today, the Father was there, and he was loading my ship with wine that came from the vineyards of this floating island. Kid you not, Kelly. Kid you not. Deb, you're standing on the beach there. Okay, around the palace. A bluebird landed on your finger, Patty. Yep, born from above. Janine and Kelly, that's right. Judy, there's a tall tree in the middle. There's a lot of green going down to a tuft of grass near sand near the water. So we float down a wide, dark river. Very good. Teresa, you sense a pleasant breeze and you hear the water in the fountain. Good, good, good. Jessica, you smell fancy foods. I hear that. No, you feel like you're moving. You might be. Yeah, Sarah, I love this description. You said your feet are together and you have blue nail polish, which you said you haven't worn in a long time, and you feel the warm sun and the cool breeze on your face. You take a deep breath of clean, salty air. Your hair is blowing and arms stretched out. Norma, you're next to me waiting for the wine. Love it. Yeah, very good. Durette, you said a beautiful, large, colorful bird flies by and lands next to you, and you kneel down and it comes to cuddle with you. Good. Yeah. Miriam, you said the palace is drawing you like a magnet. When you're walking up to the castle, thick green grass flows under your bare feet. The air smells metallic and crystalline. Very good, everyone. Yeah, Diane, it's interesting what you're experiencing here. I felt many times in the heavens too. Your resurrected self is taking you by the hand and tells me our resurrected life is way more awesome and beautiful, and my resurrected self is more awesome than I've known. Yeah, that sounds right. It is an upgrade, Diane. Absolutely. You guys are doing great. Again, that was kind of my goal tonight. I want you to sense that oneness with your own resurrection life. I want you to give yourself permission to reimagine yourself, to reimagine your life on this other side of the resurrection here. And of course, what better place than a floating mountainous island in the sky to get you thinking otherworldly thoughts, you know? Yeah, you said, Janine, you used to have a recurring dream that started as a child where you could fly, and for years and years and years, and you said, this feels like the place. Yeah. And Jill, you said it was so wild and almost prehistoric in its beauty, but totally safe. You're floating along, not walking, free like the island itself. And Beth, you're about to enter into that palace. You'll be the first one to tell us what it's like. I've not been in. I have no idea who this place is for. I really don't know. I assume because of the way it happened, it had to be for someone in the group tonight, which is why we're doing it. Someone is supposed to get an inspirational moment from this about their own home in the heavens, I suspect. Yeah. Yeah, Judy, you're heading to that castle too. And Beth, you said the king's presence is in there. I assume in that palace/castle everywhere. He's just there. I think this is a good time because if you've got your bearings here, y'all, you know what to do. Let's allow the chaperone to come in. We just go, Lord, where are you in this picture? If you haven't done it yet, Lord, where are you in this picture? I saw that, Durette, the bird's taking you to the vineyard. Yeah. And Janine or Kelly, you've flown from the beach to the palace and landed on a lovely veranda that's high up in the middle of the palace. Yeah, there's totally layers to that place. It's big, again, kind of backed up to that mountain. Yeah, so you know what to do. Let's allow the Lord to be there. Lord, where are you in this picture? And you may even hear the Lord before you see. I said, Lord, where are you in this picture? And the first thing I heard, I didn't even see, I heard him go, do you trust me? That was the first thing that happened. I don't know, I was like, it must be behind me or something, you know? Yeah. It's Claudia. You said Jesus is opening the door for me. Huge smile, and he's thrilled that you're there. Karen and Rick, you said Jesus and I are walking on stones that are in the stream that is taking us to the castle. It smells so clean and fragrant. Y'all are doing amazing tonight. You're doing good. Please keep up the good work here. Trust those first impressions. Narrate to yourself what's happening. Very good. Yeah, Jessica, Jesus tells you to follow him. He's got a scroll for you. Teresa, he's standing in front of you with his arms open in invitation. Yeah, for me, he was going to lead me into that palace. Like he was behind me, he said, do you trust me? And I turned around and he's there and he wanted to take me in. Yeah, Sarah, you said there's a clay pitcher with writing on it. Interesting detail there, sitting on the sand. You pick it up and look at it. It feels warm. And Jesus says you're to take it with you up to the mountain, to the castle. And Jesus comes walking on the water towards you. He's wearing a white robe and a blue sash, his face bright, he's smiling. Opens up like a stairway path in the trees leading up to the castle. And you're walking up the stairs carrying the clay pitcher. Very good, great detail there, Sarah. Yeah, excellent. Patty, Jesus carried you across the threshold. Nice move, Jesus. And David, you said Jesus is walking out the door to greet you with a huge smile and outstretched arms welcoming you home. It's beautiful. You get a sense, like when you're in this place, this is the sense that I get walking into this palace. Like again, it said Ephesians 3:20 kind of moment that he is above and beyond all that I could ask or think. And it's like this beautiful reminder of that in this place. You're better than my wildest dreams. Gwen, you saw a welcoming group of people waiting for us to enter. I knew that there were other people here, but I'd never met them before. You said they're expectant of our arrival as if they were expecting us. Yeah, and Diane, again, I'm getting through some of these comments, but about you and your resurrected self coming together and him saying he's going to restore that. Okay, this is part of the restoration. Again, great. Tonight, just again, wanting us to have a chance to explore that idea of being one, like he and the Father are one, allowing that immortal us and the mortal us to come together and in this place right now, explore what that oneness is like. All right, I'm going to take a break from the comments. I want to do this too, and I want to give it the time that it deserves. So you got your ambient music going. I'm going to mute my mic for a few minutes so I can talk to myself too. Be with Jesus, breathe, smell, listen, touch, watch, do all those things. Take a few minutes. You can just look at the Lord and go, Lord, my time's yours tonight. What do you want to do? Or if you have something you want to bring up, bring it up, or just see where this story goes. But let's take a few minutes to do this. Just a quick comment on this. Some of you, I'm like looking at your comments too. Some of you have that sense when you're like going into this place, like it's a holy place. And it is. And that's true for all the places. Like at the resurrection, all these environments that God's created, they're all holy. So if you find yourself like, I was reading Beth's comment about like taking these kind of like weak steps up, but he's making them strong steps and like in leading you to go all the way in. If you feel that kind of like godly fear and reluctance, you're not wrong. You're just assessing the situation correctly. It's okay to have that feeling of like, I don't even know if I should go in. I get it. Ask him if he'll take you in, if he'll lead you in like he's doing with many of you. And it seems like that's where we're like almost all of us are kind of ending up, which is fine. Again, I didn't have an agenda about that. But as you go into this place, just pay attention. Let him lead. Let him show you what made the place feel so heavy, what made it feel like that. Or maybe it's just you're letting yourself be there. You're allowing yourself to be one with this resurrection life. That could be it too. I don't know. Take a few more minutes. Throw stuff in the chat box if you want. I'm going to keep going for a few more before we comment. All right, friends, I hope you're still going. Don't let me distract you too much. Hope your ambient music is still going in the background and you're just enjoying the place, enjoying your time in the Heaven Community Gymnasium tonight. Stretching out all these spiritual muscles. Keep going. Y'all have got some incredible comments coming in. Someone mentioned like going into the castle palace and seeing tables with food. I saw that too. Someone mentioned seeing ancestors. My sense for me was family as well. Like that's who was here. I'll just tell you what I was getting. So I'm not going to write it in, but I sensed the presence of the Father like inside that palace. And I just felt like the Father said that, you, like to all of us, he was like, you're allowed to come here and drink my new wine. And you're allowed to take anything that you love from this place with you, like back into your mortal sojourn. And I had the sense that it was like, yeah, take a bottle of this wine, like take it back into the mortal sojourn. Like I couldn't imagine the things that would be used for in our mortal lives, everything from healing to moving forward in things to all kinds of stuff. And I was tempted to, again, remind us of our theme this year about really putting the Lord to the test, coming up with 3 or 4 things. But I felt like the Lord said, I'm doing something different tonight. Like just let it ride. Like I'm doing something different with my people in this place. So whatever he's doing with you, please give us a report in the chat box. I'm sure we would all like to hear. I have a few more minutes here. And I get to all of them, but I'll try. Yeah, with Sarah, let me go one up from there, Sarah, we'll get to yours. Yeah, actually, I'll start here with Sarah. He said, he shows me, Jesus is there with you, shows me his hands. You see the scars. He says he's already done the work, so I can rest in him as we walk. And he takes my right hand and we continue up. Birds keep landing on branches in front of us singing. And a young spotted leopard greets us from the forest, and we're nearly to the top of the stairs. Awesome. Karen and Rick, you said, as I walked in the castle, there's a beautiful wood staircase, most beautiful chandelier of golden crystal. To right is a large room with 2 long tables. This is you, where all your ancestors are sitting, and Jesus is walking around the room and talking to each one. You said that about the spread of food there too. Yeah. Formal clothing for you, Gwen. Formal occasion. Awesome. Yeah, very good, everyone. I'm getting through as many as I can here. Let's see, Betty, you said up at the top of the castle, your resurrection self dancing with his resurrection self, your earthly self with his self. Really, really cool. Yeah, Susan, sitting on the throne with Jesus with the knowledge that this is a place of business. Yep. We made proclamations in unison with powerful voices stating, we decree and we declare. Yep, gotcha, Susan. When you said it feels like we're going into a room of treasures. There's a throne against the far wall. The fabric is red, and again, the walls are very ornate. Yeah, let's see. Denise, you said smell of cedar and pine, sitting on a cast iron bench with Jesus, admiring the beauty, the colors. Very good. Walked along a path to a hidden garden. Ooh, fun, filled with beautiful flowers. You're asking him about the significance of the garden. Yeah, very good, everyone. A banquet hall. This is you, Teresa. Banquet hall in the palace again. Yeah. Now, what I want you to do tonight is, and again, some of you have written some great stuff in here. Yeah, let's see. You follow Jesus to a chest filled with red gemstones. They glow as we approach them. The inheritance lies around us. Along the walls, there's a trough of fire which used to light the room. You said to you, like the castle looks like a mix of future and past. Jared, Jesus, he's met you in the vineyard wearing his royal robes. He takes me to the library in the palace and shows me some of the scrolls of the nations, specifically from Eastern Europe. He wants to tell me about his purpose for these nations. Fantastic, Jared. Yeah. Yeah, Donald, you said this is the place of transfiguration. It's a winery. And it is, isn't it? I'm really getting that feel. Didn't really sense that just a little bit about the wine being there, but I got it strong tonight. We're being changed from water to wine, with the barrels of wine being taken on a journey. Right on. Yep, very good. Very good. Man, y'all are doing great putting all this stuff in here. Yeah, Jasmine, you said, I feel like the name of the place is called the Council in the Clouds. You said, I met Jesus in the hallway. And you said I could be here in a large room. There was a meeting of sorts with all kinds of creatures. Jesus gave me a red leather case that was a cylinder shape with a strap, and said I knew it contained a map. Jesus then introduced me to a new friend named Armel. He looks like a winged lion. Told me he would go with me on my journey to a realm in the heavens. Wonderful. Yeah, Otto and Hannah, you said we agree with the large family at a large circle table broken up into 4 shapes. Papa God draws each of us to himself and holds our face and breathes a new grace into each. Really great. Got someone else getting served wine at the banqueting table. Very good. Let's see if I can get any more in here. Yeah, Susan, you're seeing that great hall that we're in. It's really well lit, sunlight. There are hanging baskets of flowers and ivy. We're going to go a little bit over tonight, y'all. There's just a few more things I think we ought to do while we're here. Let's do this. Again, a lot of you are just having great times in this place. Let's give them a moment. Just if there's anything that the Lord wants to impart to us, that's kind of what I'm feeling. Just kind of go with me. If y'all are getting something different, it's okay. But I feel like there's something that God wants to impart to us that we just should receive. So can we just give that question to the Lord right now? Lord, is there anything that you want to impart to us this evening? And I'm going to add to that, because we're ready to receive it. What would you like to impart to us tonight? And if you want to follow me in that question, feel free. If you've got a different one, that's good tonight as well. Just, Lord, if there's something that you want to impart to us, what would that be? And you give it your first impression. Trust that very first response. Throw it in the chat box so we can all participate. There's 84 of us online tonight, or I'd unleash the microphones and y'all can speak them, but it'll just be chaos. So put it in the chat box. Lord, what do you want to impart to us tonight? Yeah, I've got to trust my first impression here, because that's what I tell y'all to do. So I can't tell you to do it and then I not do it. But I really felt like he said, I'm going to do some really otherworldly things in your life coming up. That's what I felt like he said. Like, you need to be up here in some of these otherworldly environments. I'm about to do some otherworldly things. Yeah. Here's other things he's imparting. My love, his love, courage to travel with him more often, the fire of his love. Caroline, I feel like he's just saying to you, come back. Yeah, you need to come back to this place, Caroline. Peace and acceptance. Noah, you heard courage. Yeah, Judy, he's robing you with your purple robe with gold edging and a similar crown. And he gives this tome on occasion. That might be the word that you typed there. We're going to keep going. To enter into his rest, love, that was you, Dorette. Jennifer, deep peace like a river. Diane, beauty. Jessica, rest. Miriam, inside everything is made of white marble. Yep, the heavens are waiting for you to step in. Trust me. Very good. What else does he want to impart? Catherine, you said there's an atrium with leaves, plants, flowers, herbs that are for healing. You said the leaves are for the healing of the nations, inviting us to take those and apply them. I'm sorry, he was just talking to me again while I'm sitting here reading your comments. I feel like it's another Ephesians 3:20 moment. I feel like he said, expect me to do better things than you think I will. I hear you, Lord. Yeah, Gina and Kelly, Jesus and I entered a large room with so many people and beings in it. Jesus and I stepped into each other. And as one, he said, I am going to grow in my awareness of our oneness as I move about among the people. Let life blossom open. It's a good word from him. Donald, we're the barrels of wine, revelation, joy that will be sent out into the world. Linda, Yeshua gave you 10 coins. Spend them well, Linda. Yeah, Karen and Rick, a new sound. Yeah, Jill, take the wine, my blood, back to your mortal life and use its power, its glory in new ways. Yeah. I feel like, there's like a communion moment here too. Again, don't follow me down this road if you're doing something different, but I feel like before this night's over, I'm going to see myself taking communion with this wine that's being served. Like it is like this. It's more than a metaphor here, though. It's really something more than just the symbol of his blood. Yeah, so the Lord imbued you with light. His light swirled around you, becoming brighter and brighter, a wider light. Dottie, he said, to drink in his fullness and freshness. Diane, to receiving resurrected life. And Sarah, you said my belly giggles because I feel the joy Jesus has in showing me what's inside. Awesome. Getting ready for the wedding feast and just skipping to the end to get through them. Lots of room for many people here. Yeah, Durette, you heard him say, let my fragrance be released in the Ukraine. I believe that's happening right now. Awesome. Yeah. Hey, you said, sorry, I have to read one of them here. This is Juanita. You said you don't like wine, but this is amazing. It's the most delicious wine ever. You said it flows down my throat and I feel a fire in my belly. And Jesus says, Juanita, the fire is to finish walking your destiny. Yeah. And Noah, you said, I feel like healing is happening right now. Yeah, I do too. Yep, Jeannie, you said Kelly sing a golden goblet of the wine. Yeah. Yeah, Otto and Hanny said the cloud of witnesses is around the island. We'll all receive new wine, new grace. Keep going. Yeah, you guys are doing great. Wherever you are with the Lord right now, it's awesome. I loved hearing all this. Just take another moment before, we're going to bring it to a close here in a minute, but focus on the Lord. Again, I'm just going to be your cheerleader here. Breathe. Smell. Listen. What are you picking up now that you didn't pick up before? What do you smell? What do you hear that you didn't pick up before? Yeah, it's just crazy. I just kind of went up to the Lord and I was just like, man, I was really just conscious of my resurrection body, and I can feel my different hair because I have more of it in my resurrection body and it doesn't look the same. And I was just kind of feeling everything, and I walked right up to Jesus. I was just like, I am just so sorry if I ever take this for granted. Like I'm just committing myself to keep coming, to let it be otherworldly, just to enjoy that, and to let you show us these things, Diane, you said it keeps smelling spices, cloves. You said it's a spice island. Yeah, that sounds right. Very good, everyone. Y'all are doing fantastic. Durette, you see one of your Ukrainian friends in her resurrection body there. Yeah, you might want to have a conversation and just see what's up with what's going on. See what she says. Trust those first impressions. A few more moments just to keep watching. You don't have to tap out. You guys are doing great. Just keep watching a little bit more, just to stretch those muscles. Go a little bit more than you normally would, or a little bit further than we normally would on a Thursday night. Trust those first impressions. Keep telling yourself what you're experiencing. Keep your eyes on the Lord. You can just watch the Lord and He'll tell you everything that's going on. Wherever you are, I want to tell you, all the places that we visit together, friends, all of them, they're all available for you. This palace in the sky, place with the waterfalls, any place that we've ever been together, it's all available to you. That's why I'm doing this job, just to expand your heaven horizons and just kind of show you what God can make, when things are incorruptible. A place like this, palaces and white castles and beautiful mountains and hanging islands in the sky. It's all part of that incredible creative presence that is our Lord to make most amazing things. So you ought to feel free to come back to this spot, especially over the next week if you like it. I am curious if one of you really likes it though. And it doesn't have to be one of you. It could be someone that watches this as a YouTube video, years from now. But I'm curious. This isn't my home. This isn't my place. Was it any of yours? Or is it still someone that we haven't seen yet? Did any of you feel like drawn, like, yeah, I could live here? Like, this is the kind of place that I would like to inherit from the Lord when I enter into my resurrection life. If it is you, I'm just curious. Let me know. Yeah, Susan, you said you feel quite at home here. If anybody else does, again, we're not going to have an auction. It's okay. Multiple, I'm sure there's lots of these places to go around. Yeah, Janine and Kelly, you said it feels strangely familiar, like I've been here before, but I don't have any conscious memory of it. Come to an office hours, I will explain why it feels like memory. It's an odd phenomenon, but there's a reason for that. Yeah, Gwen, you said I've been here before. As soon as you mentioned it, your spirit left. Yeah, I feel like I've taken one group to a place like this, although I don't know if it was exactly the same. Even if it's not for you, if it's not your inheritance, maybe it helps inspire the kinds of things that you do like. And oftentimes I hear people talk about their home in heaven, and I almost feel like they're self-limiting, like they don't want it to be so heavenly or too grand or whatever, because you feel like, well, I shouldn't say giant white castle backed up on a mountain on an island floating in the sky, because that sounds too crazy. Like I don't deserve that. And so sometimes I listen to people and I know they're self-limiting, like there's more to it, but they almost don't want to admit that they see it because it feels like it's too good for them, or it's too good to be true, or any of those things. So sometimes it's just good to expand that and to realize that it's okay. Like you're allowed to say, all right, I think Jesus made me a giant white castle that I live in. Like you're allowed to say that, All right, let's see what else you said to finish up here. Durrett, you said, I heard my friend say, the Ukrainian friend, we are releasing the fragrance of Jesus to those who have been hurt and are suffering, and he is opening new doors for us. Good word. We agree with that. Jennifer, you see it as a way station to resurrection life, a checkpoint that will pass through again. Jennifer, that was my feeling. That's how I thought of it. My ship stopped here, and I had the sense that it was like a midway point. It's interesting that you say that. Yeah. So you said, I feel like as a child, I've been here. It's a very childlike kind of place. I feel like too. You're right. Yeah, when you said, I feel like the island moves from place to place, like maybe like your ship travels the realms, wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, David, I agree with what you said. You said, I feel closer to Jesus here. I could stay here forever with him, but I'm not sure it's my home. Do you know, I feel the same way, David. Like I could visit this place often, but I know it's not my home. And some places mean more to us because they aren't our home and we visit them. Like that's special too. It's special in its own way. Yeah. Very good, everyone. Very good. Okay, one more here. Janine Kelly, you said definitely an important place. When Jesus and I stepped into each other, I was aware of our breath together. There's something more there that you'll be pursuing later. Good. I want you to go back. Don't wait till next Thursday or whenever we're going to do our next one, not next Thursday. All right, I'm going to stop there. Your comments are awesome. I will, as always, put the recording on YouTube in a day or so. Wherever you are, just tell the Lord thank you. Stop and say thanks. You might want to just start with, Lord, you've made some incredible things for us to inherit. And I think we have no idea. I really don't. I think we have no idea what you have in store for us. We're just scratching the surface. And every time we go, Lord, every time we go, we become more one. Certainly one with each other in you, but also more one with our own resurrection life that we're stepping into more every day. So thank you for that. Friends, keep being heaven adventurers. If you're not a heaven adventurer and explorer, that's okay. Come back. I'll take you to a new place. But in the meantime, y'all exercise those eyes of your heart this next week and remember the theme for this year. And if you haven't watched it, go watch the other videos on YouTube. Theme for the year, Put the Lord to the test. Bring up things. When you're in the Spirit, bring the things up that you really want to see a change in, so that you can build a testimony, so that you know what you're doing in the heavens is what's really happening, that you'll experience that wafer-thin barrier between there and here. Office hours on Sunday, David, 5 p.m. Yep, I'll throw out the link again as we get closer. Oh, great. I'm glad, Judy, you said it's probably the castle you've been going on to on a unicorn. That would sound right for this place. Absolutely. Y'all are welcome. I love doing this with you. Keep up the good work. Fight that complacency and apathy, everybody. Get those eyes of your heart open. Go into the up here and see something different from this mortal life that you are bound to inherit. So keep going. Don't let those fallen angels beat you up like they're some persecutors. That's what they do. Don't give in. Discipline yourself to go. I'll see y'all Sunday afternoon. Come with your questions. Love y'all. Okay, I'm going to throw the grid on just so I can say goodbye to everybody. There's the gallery. Bye-bye, everybody. Love you tons. And see you Sunday afternoon. We'll figure out when our meetings will be after that. All right. Good night, everyone. Great job tonight. Bye-bye.